A very, very good evening and warm welcome to Dan Really Likes Wine, brought to you by Norman Goodfellows. And welcome, as you can see, not to the Dan Really Likes Wine cellar, but instead to the Old Oak at Royal Johannesburg. As soon as the show is done, I have some guests I'll be hosting for dinner and some rather nice wine this evening. And so taking the opportunity to hang out in the garden, get a little food from Chef Ransley Peterson, who is in name the second most famous chef we'll have on the show today, because we've got somebody rather cool joining us in just a moment. And we'll also be drinking a little wine to warm up for a really cool evening and celebrating, because that's what we're doing on the show. We did some celebration on Monday with our top platter performers. Today we look at both the Eat Out Awards and the Diners Club Winemaker of the Year Awards. Now, both of those were named over the weekend. Eat Out was a sprawling celebratory affair on Sunday. Lots of restaurants having great reason to smile as the 1, 2, and 3 stars were confirmed. And there was also some wine involved. And in fact, one of the wine people, Bafana Zondo, will hopefully be joining us the next week or two. He's from Duskat and Stellenbosch. He won the Wine Service Award. Sadly, he wasn't able to join us today. We're hoping to catch up with him soon. We will be catching up with, though, the Chef of the Year. I've probably 3 times in the last 18 months or so eaten at Solsophy. And each time I go, I think, can Ryan Cole possibly deliver a meal as good as he did last time? And he's bettered it each and every time. He's an extraordinary talent, and he joins us on the show to talk a bit of food, but a bit of wine as well, because a really important part of the Solsophy offering is the wine list. And once Ryan has done with us and rushed off to sort out another full house at Solsophy this evening, we'll head over to the Diners Club Winemaker of the Year Awards. Carrie Adams headed up the judging panel, and I'm fascinated to find out exactly how they work out who their Winemaker of the Year and Young Winemaker of the Year are. And we have both of those winners with us, broad smiles in place. Tertius Boshoff, who is, I think, still recovering from getting 4 of the top 10 Shennons in the Standard Bank list, now has another award to his name in the Winemaker of the Year out at Stellenrust. And then from Delheim, a regular on the show, Nongcebo Langa, joins us, the Young Winemaker of the Year, as a stratospheric rise in wine circles continues. So lots to look forward to. Ever so slightly bleary-eyed, I've been in Paris and Hong Kong already this week, drinking some very nice wine along the way, and now happily back in South Africa, back in some sunshine, and back at the Old Oak, which will be hosting a rather special event, which I'll tell you about in just a moment as part of this week's news. Well, headlining the news, look out for the Jolly Good Carols here at Royal Johannesburg. Those will be happening on the evening of Thursday, the 7th of December, with Norman Goodfellows and Royal Johannesburg, and Craig Hines from Watershed, who won't only be here singing and adding his voice to the evening, he will also be selling some of his wine, because with Dani Statler from Kapsucht, he has produced a couple of wines, loves his wine, does Craig, and those wines are now in store at Norman Goodfellows, and you will have the chance to sample them, to buy a few bottles if you come and join us for the carols. You'll also, in buying your ticket, be able to support a really good cause, the Jumping Kids, which helps kids who are recovering from injuries, have prosthetics, and need help either to get those prosthetics or to continue with their therapy. We're very happy to be supporting them with Norman Goodfellows and Royal Johannesburg. So get your singing voices ready. On Thursday, the 7th of December, your chance to come along and join us and enjoy a very, very special evening. A reminder from Monday, we chatted to our star performers from Platter, the Avansadi Winery of the Year, Corleo Furi from Bosman, the Editor's Choice. We also caught up with Duncan Savage, as well as Chris Molyneux, and with Angela Lloyd, who ran through exactly how the tasting and review process works in some detail. It is fascinating. You can watch that show if you missed it on Monday. And a reminder that you can get the new platter. The color, according to Urban Sadi, is freshly foaming pinotage. That is now available. It is in bookstores and ready to go. It's 414 Rand a copy, and that is there for you to check out and have a look at. It is the most comprehensive review any country in the world has of its wine, and it's been another sterling effort from Philip van Sale and his team. And then Black Friday coming up. There are some ludicrous deals over at Norman Goodfellows. I'm not even going to begin to try and go through them, but if you do jump online, stocking up for Christmas, which is now a month away or thereabouts, you can get going with Norman Goodfellows Black Friday sales. Lots of wine to stock up on. You're going to be needing it with plenty of festive celebration to come. So head over to Norman Goodfellows, which is also where you can get your tickets for our carols. These would be the Jolly Good Carols here at Royal, happening on Thursday, the 7th of December. All right, let's get into our celebrations on the show. The week of raising glasses to great performers continues. We have our 3 Diners Club Winemaker of the Year guests, head judge Carrie Adams, winemaker of the year Tertius Boshoff from Stellenrust, and our young winemaker of the year Nongcebo Langa from Delheim. A warm welcome to all 3 of you. And then a very warm welcome to our chef of the year from the Eat Out Awards on Sunday, Ryan Cole, the genius behind Salsify, where the food, Ryan, is so good that it almost matches your wine list. I can give you no more credit than that. Congratulations, first of all. I think you always go into these things a little hopeful, never entirely sure what people are going to make of what you've done and what the judges have thought on a particular day. How much of a surprise was the award, Ryan, and what does it mean to you to get this?
Hey Dan, how are you? Nice to see you again. We went into Sunday completely unexpecting of anything. I mean, you always kind of hope for the best and expect the worst because you can only do your best on that day, and that day over the series of judging season is one blip in the day, and to have come away as chef of the year and chef of the year, and for Salsify to maintain their 3 stars was it was a dream come true. To be honest with you, I was speechless. And I think it's the greatest honor a chef in this country can achieve.
Three great honors, and getting the 3 stars is really important. Chef of the year is fantastic. What about those chef of the year? This is your peers saying, you know what, Ryan Cole's pretty special. We like what he does. Is that the one that's got particular resonance for you?
They all mean the most, and it's like, I'm sure. Oh, sorry, this is truffle. So they all mean the most to me, and it's like trying to choose your favorite child if you had children, I would imagine. But for me, the chef of the year is the closest to my heart, purely because it's my peers, the people I hold nearest and dearest in this industry, kind of saying, you know what, we see what you're doing, we like what you're doing, and we want to see more of it. And I think championing a movement that like really, I want to grow the scene. I want everyone to do well, and I really believe that all ships rise when the tide pushes in, and to be sort of an ambassador for the industry it's really
Yeah, you had to see off some pretty serious competition to get this award. There are a lot of chefs, a lot of restaurants, not just in the Cape, but across South Africa, doing some really, really good stuff at the moment. And so I think you've probably been pushed by a lot of the peers you mentioned to get to where you are. What is it for you about Salsify that sets you apart, that allows you to win this sort of award, that makes a visit to Salsify quite so magical?
I think the fact that it's an experience that's completely focused on the diner. I think that we take the first thing that we try and achieve is for our diners to leave happy, and for food to be the true star of the show. And it's all about the diner. It's all about your experience, and we put that at the center of everything we do. So I think once you focus on that and you make that your primary, we never start anything with the intention of winning or trying to be the best. I always say to my team, we might never be the best because that is an opinion, but we can always be the favorite. So that's really what we try and do is to create an experience that people leave wondering when can they come back, and like, wow, and for everyone to have a different standout is really like what we strive for. And I think the team also, we don't take ourselves too seriously because we realize at the end of the day, it's not brain surgery. We're cooking food and we need to enjoy doing it.
The food is terrific. That goes without saying. The element that really gets me when I come along is the wine. It's not just that you've got a great wine list, but when I've had the food with the pairings, it's always been inventive. It's always been fun. There's always been a sense of time and effort and energy has gone into finding the wine that doesn't just bring the best out of the food, but tells its own quite unique story as well. Older vintages, unusual varietals. It's clearly part of the philosophy at Solsavy to make wine in its own right a really important experience, but also to ensure that it lifts your food along the way.
Absolutely, Dan. And for me, like the wine pairing is the most important because it's another opportunity to excite people and to wow people and to really for them to expect the unexpected. At the moment, we've got this beautiful pairing, which is my absolute favorite. It makes me, it really, really, really excites me. We're doing this beautiful 1984 Alles Verloren cab, and we're doing that with a lightly smoked venison tartare with hints of goat cheese. And I mean, it's a wine that's turning 40 next year. I mean, it's older than I am, and it's just like, it's so relevant. It's so, I can't describe it. It's just perfect. You have to come down and try it.
Put that one straight onto the list then. If I look at a number of the other top chefs who I spend a bit of time with, I look at somebody like Tertius Boshoff, who's obsessed with wine, David Higgs, Pete Goffwood, Ruben Riffel, all people who absolutely love their wine. I know there are sommeliers at play and directors of wine and beverage directors in restaurants. How much time do you, as the man behind the kitchen, spend in the wine space, spend tasting wine, talking to your sommeliers, being part of this process that brings food and wine together at Solsavy?
So Dan, as the chef, the chef and co-owner of Solsavy, I pride myself in being a part of absolutely every step of the customer journey. And I love a good bargain and I love a good find. So I really pride myself on being very hands-on. So Vic our som, and Sid, our assistant som, the three of us work very closely. We taste a lot of wine together. We work with a lot of cool producers, a lot of cool people. And for me, it's important to be a part of the whole process. So it's not something I leave to somebody else. It's something I'm very much hands-on, and it excites me. And, it's an opportunity for me to learn, for Vic to learn, and the team just to get better,
What about that parallel between food and wine in South Africa at the moment? We've got coming up in just a moment two incredibly gifted winemakers who are a leading part of the wine scene. The quality of restaurants has been going up and up and up over the last few years. Are you seeing that in wine? Is wine for you in as exciting a space as I think we see restaurants?
I mean, I don't think I'm allowed to say this, but if I'm honest, I think the restaurants are finally catching up to where the wine is. I think South Africa is now on the global stage more so than it's ever been. I think we've been on a global stage for a long time, but I think the spotlight at the moment on South African food, and then likewise on the wine. And I think we're producing some of the best wine in the world, that it's actually at a point where I don't even want to put international wines on our list because I just don't see the point. I think when you put the price versus quality, I don't think we could be beaten. I don't think we could be matched. I know that there's a lot of forefathers that, like people stylistically we work towards, but for me, South Africa it's unbeatable.
There are going to be a lot of disappointed people over the course of this summer trying to get into Solsavy and not winning, because it's a very tough table to get at the moment, especially after that award on Sunday. When they do make it through, if they do, you've already mentioned that great older cab pairing. Give us one or two others on your current menu that you think don't just stand out, but also really capture where food and wine is in South Africa at the moment.
Another one that really excites me is we've got the Nordier White Blend, the 2011. It's just also a wine that I absolutely love. It's like a wine I want to drink. And we're also doing this beautiful Boschendal 2009 MCC, and we're actually serving it with a fish. So we're serving it with a fish course, but we're serving it in a Gabriel glass. So we're not serving it as an MCC. We actually want the mousse to dissipate so that you can experience the wine that's behind it. And for me, it's like it's a little bit controversial, and like obviously, like you shouldn't be doing that. But the character of the wine is so strong that it actually you want to experience it without the bubbles, and it's also a little bit of a, like it's quite controversial. But the wine is just so beautiful with the food, and it's so perfectly paired that it's just an interesting way to experience it.
There is a lot of excitement at Salisbury at the moment, not just because of the award, but that food and wine is off the charts. Ryan, final one for you before you head off to fend off the queues outside the front door and satisfy another army of very excited diners. Where to from here? You've got the 3 stars, your chef of the year. Can you get better than this? Can you do more? What's still to come?
I mean, Dan, to be honest with you, for me and my team, it's more of the same, and we're trying to prove we're trying to prove that we're playing a long game, and it's just more the same, and it's providing more opportunities to new diners. It's about creating a community. It's about building the next generation of chef up, and it's just about pursuing. It's the pursuit of excellence, which I don't think ever ends. So, I mean, I'm massively humbled at all the awards we've got this year. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of them. But I think it's important to realize that it's within season, and it doesn't define us, and it just gives us the fuel to keep going and keep pushing and just reestablish ourselves. Every day is a new day, and we've got to prove to everyone every single day that this is why we are what people say we are.
Ryan, you've done a terrific job. I know it is a team effort. You've got a fantastic team, both food, wine, and service behind you, but they do need a leader to take them along, and that's exactly what you've done. Congratulations. A really well-deserved award, a fantastic trio of accolades, and I know there are many more to come. Looking forward to my next visit, and keep doing a terrific job. You're doing Cape Town and South Africa proud.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for your time, and I can't wait to welcome you back. Have a good evening.
There we go. Ryan Cole, South African Chef of the Year as of Sunday. Also the Chef's Chef of the Year. And that one is so important. All the other chefs saying, yep, Ryan's our man. He has nailed it. And then also the 3 stars continuing as well. If you haven't been to Salisbury, get in that queue and try and get there. Right, let's move over to our Diners Club Winemaker of the Year. We have the winemaker himself. We have the young winemaker herself. And we have the fearsome head of judging. I've made the mistake of going wine tasting with once or twice before, and I didn't tend to remember the end of those particular journeys. Carrie Adams, lovely to have you on. So to Tertius Boshoff and Nongcebo Langa. Carrie, give us a quick comment from your perspective before we jump into the awards on the words there from Ryan, our star chef, feeling that food is now catching up with wine. 2 very, very exciting spaces. But I think wine, from what Ryan's saying, has led the charge. Where are you in your general picture of South African wine in terms of our excitement and dynamism as an industry at the moment?
Well, hi, Dan, and thanks very much for having me on your show. I know that it's a tough ask, but it's lovely to be here. Where am I in terms of food and wine in South Africa? I think that we're on the rise. The trajectory has been enormous and fast in the last couple of years. When you think back to where we were sort of even 10 years ago, we've got a bunch of brave young Turks in the vineyards and in the kitchens. And between them, they're making it work. They're making it happen.
And very, very happily so. Sorry, we lost you there for just a moment. That then dials down into the awards themselves and the Diners Club Winemaker of the Year awards. Before we discover how you were able to, with your fellow judges, decide on our 2 winners, what is the broad process? How do you decide on what qualifies? How do you enter this competition? What is the framework for our Winemaker of the Year challenge?
Dan, I've been involved with diners for, I was trying to think about, I think it must be about 17 or 18 years now. And I love diners. It's done so much for the wine industry quietly and under the radar, and it's maintained the presence as one of the most prestigious awards, I think, for a winemaker to win. And when Hugh Peatling, who was the instigator of Diners Club Winemaker of the Year and many of the things that Diners does with the wine world, he was a visionary. He was a wonderful man, and it was all in an attempt to garner clients for diners and clients for the wine industry. So it was just a win-win situation, and it's continued to be so. And the one thing that we've always maintained at Diners, at least all the time I've been involved there, is that it needs to be completely and utterly transparent. It is one of those competitions where, I kid you not, honestly, on my oath, as the chairperson of that judging panel, I do not know who the winner is until I sit down next to you at the dinner table in Cape Town. I honestly don't know. It's kept very, very quiet. It's kept very, very tight. and we know nothing. So the way we do it is, the criteria are that you simply have to be a South African winemaker, I think. Well, you don't even have to be South African, but you have to be able to provide a certain amount of cases of the wine, should your wine win you the title. And I think it's the only competition in the country where it's not necessarily the wine that's winning the award. It's the person and the soul behind the wine that wins the award, which makes it sort of a multi-dimensional award that you have to bear in mind. Anyway, you have to be able to provide Diners Club with about 40 or 50 or maybe even 100 cases of wine, should your wine win the award for you. And then, of course, you have to make yourself available to be at Diners Club's behest, should they require you for any kind of PR type work during the year, etc. But it's no more onerous than that, really. The judging process itself is rigorous. Enter Esh Naidu, the current MD of Diners Club South Africa, and he implemented 2 years ago, I think, a new judging system, which is rigorous to say the least. And what that system of Eshes does, actually, it judges the judges. So it judges our consistency as judges, if you know what I mean. The Diners Club, the Young Diners Club entries this year were about 80, and I think we had another 80 for the Senior Diners Club award. So over the course of 2 days, we tasted about 160 wines. It's hectic. And we just taste and taste and taste and taste, and that consistency has to be there until such time as literally the maths does the job for us. It's very, very rigorous.
160 wines over 2 days. It sounds like a pretty normal day.
Oh, it's what I do every day. Yeah, it is.
And running through all of that to give us our overall winners. Let's go to our winemaker of the year. And before we talk about the wine that he's won, tell us about entering this, Tertius. Why is it for you, as a South African winemaker, one who's won so much already, has so many accolades, why is this an important one for you to enter?
It's actually very true what Carrie said. It encompasses more than just the wine. It tackles the soul of the winemaker as well. And I said it on Saturday evening as well. It's always like a beauty competition. So you wait for the right person to be crowned, and none of the 6 finalists nor the judges know exactly who it is. And even Esh Naidu, the MD of Diners Club, doesn't know. He pulls a letter out of an envelope and he reads the name out. So one thing happened this week, and there was a lot of congratulations coming in from the industry, and it's amazing how supportive the industry is. But one that stood out for me was the one that I received from Carl Schultz of Hartenberg, and he congratulated me, and he said to me, Tertius, go download the list and see the names that is on that list. And that just sealed the deal for me. So it truly is something that you as anyone would want to win in this country, and it's such a huge honor. I've gotten rid of my bubblers now, but I've not come down cloud 9 to believe it. And further so, it was so great that since Sunday when I came back to the farm, I'm carrying a piece of oak barrel in my pocket, because good things rarely happen on this farm. So I'm waiting for the crap to hit the fan. So I'm touching wood all the way still this week.
It's an award that you won that I think might have raised an eyebrow or two when people find out the wine with which you won it, because especially on the back of this year, where your normal, I think, 2 wines in the Standard Bank top 10 were Chenin Blancs from yourself. You now had 4 this year. People think, okay, well, Tertius must have sent through a Chenin Blanc. That's what won it for him. But the judges are quite specific each year. It's a particular wine you have to make, a particular varietal or blend. In this case, you needed to deliver a Shiraz or a Syrah. What was that challenge like for you? And how important is it for you as a winemaker to be able to show the world that, yes, you're an absolute master at Chenin Blanc, but you can make some pretty decent red as well?
Yeah, it's a long time coming. It's a lot of work. we inherited a farm that was the product of the quota system. So, I mean, we have 200 hectares planted in Stellenbosch, but I think to almost 50 different varieties. So only in the last 15 to 20 years, we've tried to specialize and tried to narrow it down. Unyoan from Nongcebo Wine Estate said to me one day, you need to start focusing. People will only take you serious when you focus. And in the last few years, we've really started focusing on which varieties we're aiming for, and that which is a Chenin, of course, which has won those awards. Sauvignon would always be important because it's a consumer wine. And then Pinotage, which we landed last year under the top 10. It was the first winery to get a top 10 under both Pinotage and Chenin, and now Shiraz. Shiraz is definitely the most difficult cultivar that we have been working on. So it's really great for us, and it's a huge honor, but it's a product of the soil. As I said on Saturday evening as well, it's a trophy that you carry as a winemaker, but you carry a trophy for a whole farm and a whole community, from the guy that cut the vine, to the guy that pruned the grape, to the guy in the cellar cleaning the barrels, etc. So this is a massive motivation to the whole farm.
It's also an award that had you seeing off some fairly impressive competition. We spoke earlier in the show to Chef Ryan Cole about getting his award in the face of many other chefs who would have had a reasonable claim to that title. What does it mean to have come up against some really impressive winemakers, and in the eyes of Carrie and her judges, being voted the top of the lot?
Yeah, when I received the phone call, because they let you know you're a finalist, then you don't really know who the other finalists are. And it's like, no, you're kidding me. I can use stronger Afrikaans for that, but no, you're kidding me. And I was laughing, and it was true. And then I found out who the others were, and we walked into this donatory function on Friday evening where we had a special tasting and raise funds for Diners Club to put less fortunate child through schooling of wine, which is a great initiative anyway. And there I was standing with the likes of Dewald Heinz, ex-Sarensburg, and you're looking at Charles Hopkins, hero, lifetime hero, the Grendel, and then you've got Annemarie Fourie from Oldenmans, and you've got Joseph Dreyer from Raka, and you've got one of my best friends and also a legend, RJ Botha from Kleine Zalzing. What am I doing here? And yeah, we finished tasting the wines that evening. We went through all the wines. So it was the first time actually that we got the opportunity to taste the other competitors or the other finalists' wines. And I had my clear winner. It was not me, by the way, no chance. I don't know if you saw the video, but my jacket was over my chair. I was sitting back and waiting for someone else to be announced. So it came completely out of the blue. Yeah, and it's guys that I respect so much, and I've learned so much about it. And it's like when Charles said something on the Friday evening, he said that to the youngsters, he said, don't be scared to ask. And when I came into the industry and was taken under Mike Dobrovich's wings, who used to be at Milderbos those days, it was really a question. No one was ever shy with sharing knowledge. And it's those guys that were finalists with me that I look so much. So yeah, it's awesome. We're so blessed, and it's just amazing, and we're so thankful.
Let's jump back to Carrie very quickly before we chat to our young winemaker. Carrie, what for you made Tertius and his wine stand out and took him to this award?
What do you think? He's so cute. Anyone would have chosen him. No, to be serious, I think that the Stellenrust Shiraz is, for me, it just embodies, it's a class act. It's a world-class wine. It's elegant. It's polished. I always liken my wines. I like my wines to be polished and glossy and balanced, and that's exactly what that wine is. If you're looking for something for Christmas that you're going to put with your turkey, it's sweet red fruit laced with spice. It's perfect for Christmas. It's your Christmas wine. It's elegant. It's classy. It's gorgeous. And it's not wildly expensive either. So go and buy it.
Shiraz. Syrah's been getting a lot of attention in South Africa this year. That continues with wine like this from Tertius. Plenty of people love their Syrah, love their Shiraz. It's a big part of what they drink. The same probably can't be said for Gewürztraminer. And you might be Googling that just to make sure that Gewürztraminer is not the name of an Austrian midfielder currently playing for Chelsea. It is, in fact, a type of wine that we see popping up from time to time in South Africa. And when it does, and when it's made by Nongcebo Langa, it is rather nice. Nongcebo, congratulations and well done. This star-studded career of yours just keeps getting better and better. Young Winemaker of the Year at the Diners Club Awards. How does this one feel?
Like Tesha said, I think we're still recovering from our babalas. But I mean, it's quite an amazing recognition. And I mean, there's still great things to come. And as I've told you before, it's only going to get better from here. And, you know, this is only the first step. And I think even for us here at the farm, myself, the guys I work with in the cellar, everyone is just super, super excited. As you can see in the background, like it's still in the office. So we haven't moved it anywhere yet. So no, really quite happy and proud and honored actually to be recognized as one of the best in the industry, well, with the one that came out from the kibbutz.
This is something that you visualize, isn't it? I remember when you first arrived and you told management very clearly, I'm going to be running this place in due course, and it didn't take too long before you made your way up the food chain. Is this kind of award, this kind of success, something that you look at and you say, right, this is on my horizon, this is one of the objectives that I want to meet as I continue my wine journey?
Definitely. I think for anyone who aims to be CEO someday, this is actually quite a great milestone to reach, and be able to be recognized that, okay, even for it proved to me as well that, you know, I'm able to do this, you know, although it's not just myself, I have people around me. So, you know, it's just one of those, okay, I'm able to do this. And then to have set such a goal in the future, this is a great sort of milestone to pass through, and you know, something to achieve that is really amazing, and not a lot of people get to be a part of this list, and it's really quite an honor. I'm really still humbled, and I think I'm still also digesting it a little bit. It hasn't settled in fully, but yeah, I'm still like rolling up in the heavens, if I can put it that way.
Tell me a little bit about this wine that you made, Gewürztraminer. It's not a wine that everybody will be massively familiar with. Where is the link between you and Gewürztraminer that makes it so special? And what was it like making this wine with the view to winning this title?
Wow. Okay. So with Gewürztraminer, I think in South Africa you can count farms probably in one hand that make the grape varietal. And then with us here at Delheim, the links, it goes back to pretty much Spatz Spelling, who started Delheim. And then he wanted to have this link to Germany with the different varietals. So case in point, the Riesling, and then you've got the Gewürztraminer. So all those links to pretty much link him back to his homeland. And then we just, one of them kept going, and we played around with how we make it. Because the style of it was always to pick when the acid was 4 and the pH was 4, and then we soon realized actually maybe that needs to be improved and changed upon. And then once that new thinking came into place, it I don't know, the wine sparkled. It became a different product. It just was even better with nice balance. So it got really quite distinct aromas, and it's beautiful wine once you get it that right balance between the sugar, the acid, and you know, it's a really good wine. So I would recommend it for anyone who's trying out. Actually, they're pretty much still starting out in wine, and they're not looking for something super dry or super sweet. They want to just be in the middle there. So that's because we make ours off dry as well. So that's quite something for everyone, even the novice drinker that's looking for something that smells amazing and also tastes quite the same.
Yeah, there's a German feel to Delheim, the history, winemakers you've had, the love of Riesling, and your staying alive Riesling that's so much fun to drink. There's won so many fans of late. when Tertius had to settle down and make his wine, it was Shiraz, it was Syrah. It's quite a narrow set of parameters. He has one grape to use and then interpret it. Your category is white wine, so there is quite a bit you could have done. How much debate was there in terms of deciding that Gewürztraminer was what you were going to settle on?
Oh, it was difficult. It was difficult because you never know really. So, because for me, like to be honest with everyone, I entered 3 wines, and then I put in the Chenin, the Chardonnay, and the Gewürz. So, I mean, it's all about taking the chance because I feel like those 3 wines represent exactly what like we produce here and what we stand for on the farm, where it's fruits, it's elegance. It's a nice balance that we go for. And it just so happens that the judges thought, okay, the Gewürz fits this profile much better than the other ones. And it was like, wow, okay, this is quite exciting. It was a shocking experience. But it wasn't a tough choice for me to enter those 3 wines because I knew they actually do represent what we make here and what we stand for.
Let's jump back to Carrie. You've got a really exciting young winemaker here in Nongcebo delivering a Gewürztraminer. So straight away, a wine that's probably going to attract some attention because it is so unusual in a South African context. But it's not going to win just because it's unusual. It has to win because it has been made particularly well. As judges, what did our young winemaker of the year do that swept you guys all away?
Well, first of all, she is delightful. She's gorgeous, and we love her. Secondly, you probably have to have a head judge as left of center as me to actually agree to award a Gewürztraminer, that kind of an award. But it's so delicious. Thirdly, I love the Sperling family. They're very, very much part of the South African wine industry. They are rudimentary, fundamentally foundation stones of the South African wine industry, and the Spatz's kids continue to carry fly the flag. So that was brilliant. He must be smiling from above. He must be so proud of everybody at Delheim. And then lastly, Gewürztraminer is something that everybody needs to know about. It's, what should we say? It's like a big bag of pink marshmallows. That's how it smells. And rose petals and Turkish delight. And it's got all these gorgeous aromatics that really just come out of that glass and knock you for a 6. But, and I'm going to say the name wrong. I'm just going to call her Nonko because I keep saying it wrong. I keep getting it wrong, but she knows I love her. Her expression of the grape, she says it's off dry. It's not wildly sweet. It's fruitful. It's like buying the right pawpaws and mangoes in Food Lovers. You don't go and buy green ones. You buy ripe ones so that the juice runs down your face, And that's what that Gewürztraminer does for me. It's just crammed full of beautiful fruit and aromatics and flowers. And then she's got the balance, as she says, she's got the sugar and the acid balance just so perfect so as not to be sickly sweet or sickly anything. She just hit it bang on the button. It's fabulous wine. Really, really highly recommended.
Nongcebo, what does it feel like hearing somebody like Carrie, such a well-respected critic and wine connoisseur, and your head judge, so enthusiastic about the wine you made?
I think I just fell in love with the wine all over again. I mean, her descriptions of the wines is just wow. No, it's such an honor. I mean, I'm humbled to have such an esteemed judge. Acknowledge that, okay, this wine is really, really amazing. So I'm inside my heart is like, but yeah, no, it's really great. It's really great to hear and understand the perspective. Yes, the perspective of the judges when it came to this wine and what they thought as well. So I'm really, really, really happy about that.
As you should be. Awarded that on Saturday night as the Diners Club Young Winemaker of the Year. On the same night, the Tertius won his Winemaker of the Year award. Tertius and a number of other esteemed winemakers there in the evening. I don't need to ask you this because I know already, Nongcebo, you've started eyeing out the Winemaker of the Year trophy for years to come, and you'd be a foolish person not to put some money on that. What, though, to for you to have people like Tertius, like Charles Hopkins, like these other great winemakers, not just there in the evening, but now being spoken of in this kind of company? What does that mean to you as a young winemaker?
I think it's a lot. It is a lot to carry. I mean, these guys, these winemakers, they walk the walk and they've talked the talk. So the mere fact that they were also part of the evening is just testament of their hard work and their dedication to their craft. And to have those guys as, you know, people that we look up to and as sort of guides as well for the young winemakers to get to where they are is really something special. And they're just beautiful, beautiful people. And then for this award, I think like the messages that Tertius also spoke about, that it's just overwhelming the amount of love and the support the industry actually is capable of and is giving out there. And it was just so amazing to get those messages and that love from the industry. And the one message I think that touched me the most came from a young lady also. She's like, oh my gosh, I look up to you. You give me such hope that I'll be all right. So imagine that. So for me as well, now it just gives me that push to keep on going. And because I know there's somebody else looking up to me, and as we look up to people like Tertius as well. So, you know, it's a very much a cycle of giving back to, you know, yeah.
Let's head over to Tertius and get the perspective from the other side of that coin. Tertius, young winemaker like Nongcebo, making terrific wine, so full of drive and excitement and energy, but one of many young winemakers we have at the moment in South Africa who make this such a vibrant industry to be part of. How excited does somebody like Nongcebo make you about South African wine, and how excited are you beyond that about the young winemakers who following in the footsteps of people like yourself?
Nongcebo is a lovely soul. She's just got an amazing soul and an amazing personality, and it's her humility that's going to bring her far. That I can promise you. In the wine industry, that's what you need is humility. On the point of the youngsters, I read the other day that someone said, so when you wake up in the morning, you first go, these days, the millennials, they go onto Instagram, then they check it out, and then there's people with perfect bodies, and you scroll down, and someone's jumping off a cliff in idyllic island. What am I doing wrong with my life? Then you jump from Instagram to Facebook, and then you see there's married couples, and they're also happy and in love. Oh, the firstborn child, and everything's just wonderful. And then you go to Twitter, and it's a complete apocalypse. Everyone's just ditching each other, and everyone knows better than the other one. And you kind of lose, and I actually said it to some of the youngsters on Saturday night, you kind of lose faith in the youngsters and the millennials and the habits. And when I listened to all of their videos that was taken before and the speeches, and when I got to spend time with them, I'm so hopeful for the industry. It's in great hands. They're so excited about life. So they're so excited, more importantly, about South Africa, because that's what we need. And they're so excited about wine. So they're fundamentally great. They were all so humble. Just love meeting all of them. So no, there's a great future for South African wine if it lies in the hands of those youngsters.
Love that summary of social media and the Twitter wrapping it up. You've nailed that on the head completely. You got this award. You've got your 4 Shannons in the top 10. It's been an incredible 2023. I don't know how you top it for 2024, but without asking you exactly what about 2024 and beyond? What's exciting you at Stellenrust? What do you guys have on the horizon that we can look forward to as fans of the brand?
Someone said to me on Saturday night, now's the best time to resign. I kind of agree with him because yeah, it's been a great week. Earlier last week, also I think there were 5 98-point wines in the platter, and 2 of the 5 were scored by us with Shannon. So it was this crazy last few months. We'll stick with our Shannon. We make 9 different styles of Shannon now, so there's quite a few exciting wines like the Naked Truth, Secrets and Lies, and Indecent Obsession coming from one block, where we make 3 completely different Shannons out of one block. And then we'll continue building on the artisans wines, of which the Blueberry Hill Shiraz was one. I told everyone that if you're born in Stellenbosch, you get this pair of Black Mafia shoes they give you, and there's a bit of strict rules and regulations. And when you grow up, you look at the guys in the Swartland, you think, shucks, can't I be like them? They're so cool and they go surfing and stuff, and then you put on your black shoes again. So the artisans range gives us a little bit of freedom. And Nongcebo, there is actually a skin contact Gewürztraminer under 83-year-old vines called Under My Skin Gewürz, which we're also going to release very, very soon. So in honor of you, I'll carry that up for you. Yeah, and a vine dry Cabernet, not a vine dry, the Amarone style Cabernet Sauvignon, which we made in complete Amarone style called La Dolce Vita Cabernet Sauvignon. So lots of new innovative things. I always say to people, Stellenrust pays the bills. The artisans' wines keep us sane. So we're trying to keep that sanity with a bit of artistry running in the artisans' wines.
It's an important balance to strike, and it's one that benefits those of us who drink Stellenrust on a regular basis, of which I am one, and very happily so. Nongcebo, similar question to you as you look ahead now. It's been a great few years for you and for Delheim. You guys have been making magic and having so much fun, be it your German Riesling project, now the Gewürztraminer. What's next for Delheim? What can we expect coming up as we head into 2024?
Okay, I think Tertius summed it up quite nicely actually when we said the Stellenbosch side, we all have our black boots and we don't get to really have so much fun. But yeah, I think almost every winery has that portion of the winemaking where they get to have some fun things to do and explore different techniques and cultivars. And for us, we are looking forward to releasing a Syrah as well under the Iconoclast label. As you may remember, last year we had the Cab Franc. So at this point, yeah, we're moving on to the Syrah, and then a bit later we'll add on a Tempranillo as well on that portfolio. So that was quite something that's great on that. And then something quite exciting also linking onto the Staying Alive. Then when I got to go to Christoph and make wine with him that side, a Chardonnay in Germany. So that finally arrived in South Africa. So that's also here on the farm for tasting. So that's it's quite fun things. I mean, everything else is just trying to do better and improve on the craft and, just do the best that we can with the environment and see what works with us and apply those amazing techniques that ensure that we have great quality. And the aim is always just to improve and do better. That's pretty much it. So we're looking forward to 2024.
Looks like I'm going to have to drop a note to Danica, see if I can get hold of some of that Chardonnay. And get down to Stellenrust as well. Sun-dried Cabernet Sauvignon, skin contact, Gewürztraminer. Winemakers never stop exciting, never stop exploring, and never stop rewarding us. To wrap up, Carrie, it's been a really good year, I think, as a whole for South African wine. Diners Club Winemaker Awards have affirmed that over the course of the weekend, and on the show this evening, we've seen exactly why such great wine has been delivered, because we've got terrific winemakers. As we head into 2024, what's your feel for where wine is going and what's on the horizon for us?
I agree. We've had a great year, and I think next year is going to be even better. We are gathering international gravitas, and that puts pounds and dollars and euros into everybody's bank accounts, and that makes the world go round, because we can't make it if we church mice. So it's wonderful that the farmers are getting the recognition that they deserve. I do think that we have we've rushed ahead in terms of technology and enology and viticulture and the actual viniculture of it, the actual sort of vinifying of the wine. We really have. We can be proud. The South African industry would be, if there was an international competition for the best student in the class, South Africa would be it. They've really, really done well. And I think, Tertius, we should go to Napa. I chose a single winemaker for a good reason. So when you're selecting what to do with your prize, it's got to be Napa.
All right. Well, we'll find out from Tertius.
The three of us can go. Can you imagine?
All right. All four of us will book the flights.
And Mrs. Dan, yes.
Guys, it's been lovely having all of you on the show this evening. Ryan Cole a little earlier with his triumphs at Solsafi. Nongcebo, it's becoming almost a monthly basis reasons to have you on the show, because you just won't stop doing really cool stuff. And it's just the same applies to you guys. To both of you, congratulations. We're blessed with so many phenomenal winemakers in the country, but you two guys have had an immense 2023, so well done to both of you. And Carrie, I think Nongcebo and Tertius would be the first people to just remind me that our industry has got many arms to it, and the critics, the writers, the champions of wine are so important in ensuring that stories like Nongcebo's and Tertius's do get told, and that the wine that they make does get recognized and celebrated and shown to the world. So thanks not just for joining me on the show, and thanks to your parole officer for allowing it to happen, but also for being such a...
He only took me half an hour. I better get off here. Thank you, Dan. You're our legend. You are our living legend. Thanks for having me.
Guys, thank you all so much. Happy winemaking, happy wine drinking, and we'll see you all on the show again soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there we go. Tertius Boshoff, winemaker of the year out of Stellenrust. Gee, he's had an incredible year. Nongcebo Langa, whose star is in the ascent, and I don't think will ever stop being so. And chair of the judging panel for the Diners Club Winemaker of the Year Awards, the 17th or 47th or 87th year, I'm not sure which. Carrie Adams on the show as well. A little earlier on, Ryan Cole from Solsafi, South African Chef of the Year and an avowed lover of wine. Speaking of the love of wine, I'm off to get some myself. I've got some guests for dinner here at the Old Oak, and the food of Ransley Peterson, who himself, I think, isn't too far away from starting to appear at those Eat Out Awards. He's doing a terrific job, and I shall enjoy his work this evening. I'll see you back on the show next week. Look out for those tickets for our Jolly Good Carols with Norman Goodfellows here at Royal Johannesburg at the Old Oak, and some great Black Friday sales as well. Get shopping, stop up for Christmas. There's plenty of celebration to be done this festive season. Thanks for joining us. This is Dan Really Likes Wine, brought to you by Norman Goodfellows, coming to you from the Old Oak at Royal Johannesburg this week. Happy drinking. Goodbye.